welcome into episode 3 of Cerberus Sports Talk. As always, I'm your host, Randy McMahon. I got a special guest today. Cam, how you doing, my man?
What up, man? How you doing?
Good, man. It's been a long time. Our boy E will be joining us shortly. We'll get this going here on the bottom. Man, I've been good. Just, getting this thing started for Cerberus Sports Talk, the nice little backgrounds and all that kind of stuff.
Already,
How have you been across?
I like it.
Thanks, man. How have you been? You were across the pond for a little bit, and now you're back in the States, or what?
Right. I went over there in the cold, came back to the cold. Thought it was going to get better. So, but yeah, man, it was good. It was fun. Going away to the next move. Not sure what's going to pop off next, man, but, never sure. So I'm just kind of going day by day right now.
Nice, man. How was it over there? You play all right?
Yeah, it was good. I played well, man. The competition is a lot I would say the defensive schemes are a lot more, detail-oriented. People they switch better over there, they can sit in the key. It's not like South America League, where you can just kind of go get buckets. It's a little bit more. They play team defense over there. So I liked it, though. It's a little bit more thinking, made it more challenging. I think I got better for sure.
Well, good, man. Well, good. Hopefully you get another call here soon. Our buddy E he said he's a couple minutes out. So we'll get going here on the All-Star Weekend, and he can join us when he comes in. So let's start with the first topic, All-Star Weekend. Obviously, all the skills competitions like the slam dunk contest, 3-point drill, and then the game. Where do you want to start in this, man? I know you were kind of a little upset with the slam dunk contest, so why don't we go with that?
Yeah. We'll start. I think with the dunk contest, man, it's just hard to top, man. I mean, it's only so many dunks you can do. You know, so I feel like what they should start doing is probably playing like dunk horse. Just get people out there and see who can do whose dunks. I think that'd be pretty interesting. And I also think they should probably start taking some of these YouTubers, man, and let them get in a slam dunk contest. I see people from Team Flight Brothers and just different areas, man, where they got some crazy bounce. I'm talking about this is what they do for a living. It's just dunk, So I feel like they should throw some of them in there sometimes, man. And I think that'd be a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, I was thinking about this a little bit too, and dunk horse would be something, or teams where it's you and a teammate, and you have to do like a choreographed sequential dunks in the same basket.
Oh my gosh.
One guy's doing a windmill, and the other guy's doing a 360, and they're going around each other, and you have to make both dunks for it to count.
Yo, that is tough.
And so you're trying to do different things, or that kind of stuff. And then I like the YouTuber idea, or these dunk teams, where maybe you pair an NBA star with a dunk team star, and you kind of branch out and kind of that multimedia there. So I really like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
They always have to flex different things, because hockey, they did this breakaway thing. So now the fad is all these breakaway goals with different dekes. I've been sending you a couple of the videos and stuff,
right,
where it's just one-on-one with the goalie. Their goal is just to make the sickest move possible. And so they're really playing towards the younger fans and the theatrics of the game. And I think that the NBA, who normally doesn't have a problem doing that because it's a star-driven league, maybe, changes it up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll figure something out, man. But yeah, other than that, man, one thing I did like, I think the 3-point contest is always cool. I like how they incorporated the Mountain Dew ball. I think they did that a couple years ago, but just trying to show people's range. It's the extra 2 basketballs in between at the wings. That's for extra 3 points, I believe, something like that. And I like that because it incorporates people's range. And speaking of range, Steph Curry, man, oh my goodness. I think this was good for him. I feel like he found his rhythm in this game. Lately, he's been kind of struggling. I think a lot of it has to do with just confidence, or maybe breaking that record. Maybe that's been on his mind. I'm not sure. But after this All-Star game, I think he kind of found it, man, because that was insane. It was crazy. I'm talking about dude was shooting from half court and turning around. Come on, man. Come on.
It was like the shush to the crowd moment, or I still got it type moment. Yeah, he's making those threes and then he just turns around and stuff like that. It just he knows it's going in, and you can't stop him, that kind of thing. I think
nothing you can do.
It's the NBA, the All-Star games are always kind of different. A baseball player came out and said, hey, we have the best All-Star game because there's no way you can take it easy when you're still throwing 100 miles an hour. Right? And then you have the hockey went to the 3-on-3 format, to where it's kind of more skill based. because the Pro Bowl was garbage. Like it was like 2-hand touch, right?
Yeah.
And so, the All-Star weekend for basketball was pretty cool. That's what was the score? It was like 160 to 160 or something like that.
Something like that. 163, 161, something like that.
So, I mean, people like seeing threes. People like seeing alley-oop dunks. And, they're not playing the hardest defense. And it's more of an offense-driven. So it's not as bad as football. And I like the fact that every quarter their team wins like, a certain amount of money to give to charity. So there's charities involved. Like they've kind of tried to spice it up like that. So what do you think? Is there anything that they could do to advance the actual game itself?
I think they're doing pretty good. I like how they incorporated the you win each quarter for different charity. I like that. And I do like how they put a set score at the end, because I feel like that makes people play harder instead of time. Because now it's just, you got to get a bucket. You got to get to this goal. So I like that. I like how they changed that up. So far, man, I think they're doing pretty good with it. I think the only thing that they should change is the dunk contest. But, that was eventually going to happen, man. I mean, the dunk contest, I don't know, been around, 30-some years, 40-some years. So, I mean, of course, man, these dunks, people are going to run out of things to do in the air. You can only be in the air so long. So, I mean, that's just what it is, man.
Maybe they do like like X Games where they do the motorcycles, they go up over like the bar or whatever, like the height.
Right.
I wonder if they keep raising the hoop and see who could dunk like, we'll raise it to 11 and a half inches. And then now it's 11.6, 11.7. You keep raising it.
I feel like the people who would benefit the most would definitely be the taller people. You know what I mean? So if you got a taller person in the dunk contest, it'd be a little bit easier. They can use our arms to get there. But John Moran can get it for sure. Put that thing at 13, I feel like he can still dunk it.
That'd be good. So there's a couple ideas. You just got to listen to us here at Cerberus Sports Talk to get some ideas for the dunk contest and make it more worth your while.
Right.
Let's switch it up. Let's go to the Eastern Conference right here. And, right now in the Eastern Conference, the Heat, Bulls, Sixers, and Cavs are 1, 2, 3, 4. What's going on with your Nets, man? Down at 8. Is it just –
man, I got so many –
I had to clown you a little bit, so I'll let you get – I blocked off 30 minutes for you to speak here about how disappointed you are in Brooklyn at this point.
Oh, man. I have my own theories of what's going on. One of my theories is that I feel like they were losing on purpose so they can get a different seeding to have Kyrie play in more games because of the vaccine and everything, since he can't play home games. I was feeling like they was doing that. My other theory was that James Harden, when he was with us, I feel like he was sitting out on purpose. He may have not, but it seemed like that. It seemed like he was doing the same thing he did in Houston, sitting out on purpose, saying that it was his hamstring or whatever. And he could have been hurt, but it's like he watched us go on this losing streak and switched to a team that we got to compete with, and now he's looking great. And he feel like he can slim down. He's looking good. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, man, what's going on? But, basically we went on a losing streak because we got a whole bunch of young guys. Kevin Durant is out. Kyrie's playing half of the games. James Harden was out. So I wasn't really stressed out about it. I just know, things are going to change, once KD gets back. Hopefully this vaccine thing or whatever, this mandate gets lifted in New York and we can get it rolling, man.
Yeah, it looks, I don't want to, excuses or whatever, but it could be true. You never know. They don't say that you want to like pick your team because then you're not playing your hardest. You want to have momentum going into the playoffs and everything like that. And so, but in basketball more than anything, sometimes I feel like the first round is almost just worthless to watch because the fact that usually the higher seeds just dominate the lower seeds because all the talent's in the top there. But who knows? You might be right. I mean, if you look at the standings right now, outside, I mean, what are they, 8? So they're playing. I mean, it wouldn't be an easy matchup. They're playing what? Probably the Bucks or
are
the
they
Sixers.
8 right now?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So isn't the 9-10 seed a play-in game, right?
Yes.
Or are they all is it like or are the bottom 4 teams playing? How does that work?
I forgot how to play. I think they have a play-in round with the 9 and 10. They get a chance to I don't know what seed they played. I don't know if they played the first seed. I forgot exactly how that goes. I don't know if the 9 and 10 plays and then now it's 8, 9, 10 competing to play the first seed. I kind of forgot how that format went, but I know one thing. I hope that Brooklyn plays Philadelphia in the first round. I think that'd be must-watch TV. I think that'd be great for Ben Simmons coming back, and then us going against Harden now. So, but who's the 9th and 10th for the Eastern? In the Eastern
so
Conference?
how it looks like on the website is that the bottom 4 teams, 7 through 10, are below the dotted line. So I think they all 4 have to play in. So it looks like the Nets would play the Hornets to play in, and then the Raptors would play the Hawks to get a play in.
I see.
So then you would be playing in. You'd be the 7 seed, and right now you probably would be playing the Bulls if that happened.
Oh yeah, okay, that'd be dope too. Because I like the Bulls. LaVine is my second favorite player in the league, so I would love to watch that.
And DeRozan's hot this year.
He is going nuts, man. Oh my goodness. I think he's MVP at this point. Of course, I had Kevin Durant MVP since day one, but injuries took over on that. But after that, man, I think it's DeRozan, man. I really do. I know a lot of people say Joel Embiid, but DeRozan, man, he's over there making history.
Yeah, I mean, Embiid's right now leading the league at 29.6 points per game. Then the Greek Freak right now at 29.4, and Rosen's 4th at 28.1. So it's not like he's too far off. Make a good push. If the Bulls get, maybe the first seed, they kind of push their way up into the first seed, then it could be something. The fact that having that kind of. Sorry, Eric's trying to text me, trying to get in here. Come on, man. You're missing out. But if they get into that 1 seed, then you're looking at potentially, recency factor, right? When when writers vote on this kind of stuff, like how well you played down the stretch, can you push your team into the number 1 seed? That might be in some people's minds, and
I think so.
DeRozan could push himself into MVP talks at that point.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's doing some MVP things, man. Back-to-back game winners. I never seen nothing like that. These at the buzzer beaters too. So back-to-back buzzer beaters. What is he doing? Averaging I think he scored 30 plus points, shooting over 50%, something crazy like that, man. And it's like, man, he's really shining. He's taking this situation, he's taking full advantage of it.
Yeah, definitely top 4 in the league in points per game. So he's doing something well there. Now, as far as the Eastern Conference, you're looking at where you do, out of the top 4 teams being the Heat, Bulls, Sixers, and Cavs, which ones are you most surprised by? Here he is. There he is. He's in.
Finally got it working, man. I had some interface issues. I couldn't get my mic to pick up through my regular mic. So if you guys can hear me, I'm happy to go.
Yeah, we started, man. We're in the Eastern Conference. So I just asked Cam, as far as out of the teams in the top 4, who are you most surprised by?
The top 4 is the Cavs. The Cavs are the top 4, right?
Yeah, they're the 4th. They're the 4th seed right now.
I'm most surprised by it just due to what I projected them to do coming into the season. But when I watched them play basketball, it's no surprise.
What do you feel like is contributing to that? Because obviously they haven't been too successful since they've lost LeBron and everything like that. Or like how are they winning games in your opinion?
I feel like they have a good combination of youth. Their point guard, Darius Garland, is a very good basketball player. I didn't find this out. I knew he was good, but I've been watching his games a lot this season. And the way I see he plays the basketball, it's almost perfect, bro. He's a really good player. They got rim protection, Jared Allen. So just having a good flow of offense. Ricky Rubio, I think he played some really good basketball this year as well. So I think they got a good flow of offense and some rim protectors. And as long as you do that, and everyone plays together, you can win some games.
Right. I think that rim protection plays a big role in it, man. Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, oh my gosh. You're not getting nothing in the paint with them.
Right. I forgot to mention Mobley too.
Yeah.
So I already asked Cam because I wanted to, bust his chops a little bit. But why do you think that your team, the Nets, are not in the top 4 teams right now? They're struggling down there at the 8th.
Yeah, well, first Kevin Durant got hurt. I think in their last 10 games they're like 2-8, right? Some around there in the last 10 games. So I mean that's a clear indicator of them being outside of that top spot. But other than that, just the uncertainty, you can see that with James Harden being gone, that could, if you go back to him playing before he left, those things linger on. You know what I mean? So I think him being in that situation, Kyrie not being able to play home games because of the vaccination mandate, it's just the perfect storm for them to be in the lower seedings. But have them as my most dangerous team.
So everybody listening now, you guys can chime in the chat if you guys want to ask us questions. We're going to move on to the topic here. We're going to move it over to the Western Conference. So the Western Conference right now, as it stands, you're looking at Phoenix Suns, Golden State Warriors, Grizzlies, and Jazz. And I think I saw this on Twitter or whatever. Some guy posted that if the Phoenix Suns decided just to forfeit the rest of their games of the season, they'd still make the playoffs as the 10 seed. So
Wow.
That's how far they're ahead right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true. I just took it off the Twitter, and not all things on Twitter are true. But right now, the Portland Trailblazers are 23 and a half games back of the Suns.
Eesh. That sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds about right. They're already over 40, close to 40 wins, right? Maybe.
Yeah, I think they got like
they're
42.
48 and 10. Yeah, they're 48 and 10.
Okay.
So they've won 7 straight. They're 9-1 in their last 10. And so you got the Warriors there, Grizzlies, and Jazz. How do you see the West shaking out here? Are the Phoenix Suns the darling, even with Chris Paul being injured? Is it really about just getting into the playoffs for them? Like, how do you view this conference?
I think for Phoenix, that's what it's about. I am curious to see if they're going to keep this momentum going with Chris Paul going out. But how long is he out? 6 to 8 weeks? He'll be back by the playoffs then, right?
Yeah, 6 to 8 weeks would put you at beginning of April.
Yeah, so I think at this point, I think this is actually good for backup point guard Elfrid Payton, I believe, and Cam Payne. I think this is good for them. They can go ahead and get their rocks off, get their confidence up. So come playoff time, if anything were to happen, if Chris Paul were to go down like, he usually does, unfortunately, they'll be good. They'll have some momentum going. So I think this is actually a blessing in disguise for them.
I like it.
So as far as the everybody else, I mean, I think the big question is the two teams that we thought at the beginning of the season, as far as Brooklyn and then now the Lakers, are both in the bottom of the chance of making the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Have you seen any improvement in the Lakers? Do you think that they're relying, if it's just a lost cause, or how do you kind of view that? Let's start with the guy actually wearing a jersey right now.
Hey, for everybody watching, I'm a Kobe Bryant fan.
Get it right.
You need to make sure you know that. But the Lakers, man, with Anthony Davis going down, to me that killed the championship hopes for sure. I don't see any continuity in offense. LeBron has to take breaks here and there with the workload, and of course, I mean, what season is it? 19 or 20 for him. So it's kind of about that time. But I thought that I would see them kind of pick it up a little more. I do feel like the Russell Westbrook situation and the media and people getting on him about his turnovers, it caused a lot more of a circus than it should have been. Mm-hmm. And those kind of things always trickle down to the locker room, whether people know it or not. Yeah. So I just think there's just so many things that are not in their favor for championship right now. I can't see them winning it, but I can see them getting to the playoffs and doing something because they do have LeBron James, and I think this may be the first time in my life I can say that the Eastern Conference is significantly stronger than the West.
Right.
Just overall across the board. You got a power teams in Golden State and Phoenix, but after the top 3 teams in the West, I don't believe in anybody else right now. Just Phoenix, Golden State, and Memphis.
Yeah.
And you're looking at the Lakers right now. Probably if it stands pat, obviously there's plenty of time left. If it stands pat, they're probably playing a play-in game or a play-in series against the Clippers, the Timberwolves, or the Blazers. I mean, do you have confidence in them to take any of those teams?
The Clippers and Blazers, but I like the Timberwolves. I feel like the Timberwolves, like we always say, championship pedigree these days. You got to have 3 shot creators. Timberwolves have that in Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, and D'Angelo Russell. Mm-hmm. They also have a Patrick Beverly, good defensive presence.
Right.
Lee Beasley. They got some guys. I like Minnesota. I don't know if they'll beat Minnesota, but the Clippers are like a big question mark for me. I don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. And Blazers, yeah, they'll beat the Blazers.
Yeah, for sure. I think if they get to that play-in, the Lakers, I just feel like they're going to get in. I mean, when it comes to that, it's LeBron, man. You can't really,
right?
You know what I mean? He's going to solidify greatness by just getting to the playoffs. So Yeah, when it comes to pressure like that, I feel like LeBron can get the Lakers in. He just gets them to the playoffs.
Now, this is kind of a off, wasn't on the docket, but if the experiment doesn't work out this year with the Lakers, if you were the GM, put your GM hat on for a little bit, where would you take this team in the offseason? Would you blow it up? Would you try to run it back with LeBron and Anthony Davis and some other pieces, or how would you what would you do?
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna have to let the Brody go. I'm gonna have to trade Westbrook. And it's not that he's a bad player. It's just that Westbrook is one of those players that has to have a team for himself. He has to be surrounded by other role players, and then that's when he shines. I don't think he's really good with other superstars, and I honestly would have to trade Anthony Davis also, man. Although he's a great player, he is pretty injury prone. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Lakers didn't build a good team in the first place. They have a juggernaut talent, but everybody is like, I think they need to be surrounded by more shooters, if you ask me, a lot more 3-and-D guys. So, especially, with LeBron getting down, I think it's good that I would keep Malik Monk for sure. But
yes,
the rest of the people, that got to be some 3-and-D guys.
Yes.
Do you think the fact that they had all these young prospects, these young shooters, these young athletic guys, and they traded them all away to get these superstars, do you think that ultimately would be the demise of their team because they had all these young guys that were up and coming and they won a championship and everything like that?
Mm-hmm.
And now, they try to double down with more of these superstars and it didn't end up working out. Could it set this franchise back, 5-6 years?
Possibly.
Yeah, I think we're in the process of seeing them be set back right now. Like you said, all the guys they traded away, they're playing pretty good. Lonzo Ball playing good basketball. Kyle Kuzma's playing good basketball. We could even go back to Jordan Clarkson.
Caruso, all of them.
All of those guys are playing really good basketball away from the organization, man. It's tough to play for the Lakers organization because they expect championship pedigree every year.
Right.
And that causes a little bit of impatience in them wanting to bring superstars back in. I don't think they could foresee Anthony Davis being as injury prone as he's been these last 2 years. I mean, I know he's been injury prone his whole career, but what I'm saying is like alongside LeBron James and Russ, I'm sure they thought that his workload would lighten up a little bit and he wouldn't be, as subject to injury.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of backfiring right now, man.
Right. And I mean,
Men in the dream in the chat. Men in the dream, the chat. What's up, my man?
In the dream.
Dude, he's a young kid. He's like 13 or I think he's 13 or 14. He wants to be a sports journalist, broadcaster, everything like that. He has his own show. He's hustling out there, man.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So go click on his channel, subscribe to him. He does a lot of football stuff, mainly, but good young talented kid there. So keep it going, Cam.
Yeah. I also think it's the LeBron effect too, man. Like I don't care what nobody says, man. Playing under LeBron, I feel like that's extra pressure. I don't know if you guys noticed, but everybody who has played with LeBron hasn't been as good. Or potential all-stars, they don't kind of live up to their potential. I feel like that's why Kyrie Irving got out, honestly. But I just think if you don't do it LeBron's way, there's no way. I think that's what everybody just struggled with, man. Everybody struggled playing under LeBron just because if something goes wrong, they need somebody to blame, and they're going to blame you. They're not going to blame LeBron, and they're going to blame you. So I think that's just extra pressure, man. I think that's what Westbrook going through too right now. So
yeah.
You can't point blame at the king, right? The king cuts off your head and throws you away. That's how it works.
He owns the league, man. He bringing in the most money for the NBA. So I mean,
yeah. LeBron's the first player to have like a fan base really control the narrative for him.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like if the guys that like LeBron, if they see his teammates aren't performing well, you're gonna see tweets. They go crazy, man. It's hard. It's hard to play there. And just from a technicality standpoint of basketball, it's always tough for those guys to play good with LeBron because, I mean, LeBron can do everything better than almost everybody on the team, so they don't know where to put who, and it kind of hurts guys who have, like Cam was saying, we can name them. A lot of guys play better away from, the uniform he played in. From, I mean, if you want to go from Miami with Chris Bosh playing better by himself in Toronto, Kevin Love averaging almost 20 and 20. D-Wade before he was there. You know, a lot of those guys, it's just hard to play. It's just hard to play.
Play with LeBron, man. It's tough.
Well, we got our first question of the show here. In the Dream comes in with LeBron or MJ. Who do you think is the GOAT?
I separate GOAT and best. I think LeBron is the best all-around player all time, but greatness, Michael Jordan's greatness is just no one's come close to it, in my opinion.
Yeah, man. Same. You can just
I'll flip the question to you, Cam, then, because Michael Jordan challenged Magic Johnson at the All-Star game to one-on-one. They're both 60 years old. So in their peak, MJ or LeBron one-on-one, first to 10.
I'm gonna go with MJ, man. I'm gonna go with MJ. See, but it's hard to do that. One-on-one doesn't make you the better player, though. I don't look at it like that, you know.
Right. I know it doesn't. I just wanted to give it a little bit of narrative, man.
But I feel
I
like
cut you
MJ,
off. So go ahead with your your thought. I cut you off, my man.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's tough, man. Because these NBA players, you never know. Whoever get the ball first, if they hot, you just never know, man. But MJ the GOAT for sure. It's just, I'm sorry, man. I don't know. I don't even know how to. I think he gives you everything: championships, scoring, defensive titles, loyalty, competitiveness. I think he just gives you everything. You know what I'm saying? LeBron gives you a mixture of things, but he doesn't give you everything. You know, he doesn't have the rings. He doesn't have the loyalty. I don't think he has the competitive nature like MJ has. But yeah, man,
Well, it's a good segue to the next topic. LeBron, father and son here. LeBron came out and said that he wants to play with his son, whether it be his last season or however you want to put it out. He said money was not a factor, so pretty much he's willing to play for nothing to play with his kid. Let's two-part this question. One, Eric, you have a son. What would it be to play professional sport, like the Griffeys did and all that kind of stuff like that with your son at pinnacle of athletics?
Oh, man, it's like that. And that is the reason why I love what LeBron did, because what he's pretty much done was like manifested that path for his son.
Absolutely.
That's what he was doing more so than trying to like be a GM for himself and his moves. He just wanted to speak that into existence. We've seen it happen with LeVar Ball doing this as well. But just as a father, Cam can attest to this too. Both of us have little boys, man. That's like, yo, if I could play basketball with my son, bro.
Come on, man.
Oh my goodness. There's nothing better. There's nothing better. And it's never Cam.
I'm just saying, just to kind of trickle off of that, that's one of the big reasons why I want to stay in shape. So I can be able to play with my son, whatever it is, just so I can be able to play with him. So for you to do it at the very top level of the world, come on, man. I think that was a super OG move.
Facts.
That was an OG move.
On that topic, I just got through playing the other day, and I came home. I was icing my knees up, and Prince is like, "Dad, are you hurt?" I was like, "Nah, this is just maintenance, so I can kill you till I'm 50." Yo, that's what this is. I mean, I'm gonna like Randon, honestly, I get excitement from thinking about being able to play with my son at a recreation center.
Right, exactly.
I couldn't even imagine in the NBA, and I know LeBron's gonna stay around long enough to do that. He can't. I mean, he's strong and he has touch at the basket. Worst case scenario, LeBron can just play the post and pass out of the post. He can play the post just like Jokic does with his skills. So it's gonna. I don't know. We'll see.
So Cam, what do you think? Do you think his son is good enough to make it without his father making this statement, or do you think, like Eric said, it manifested his path to the league almost to be a guarantee?
I think Bronny is good enough to make it without him, although that did help a lot. Just watching Bronny's games, he plays the right way right now. So he's not, your crazy top 3 national talent that goes and scores 40 a game. He actually plays good basketball. You can see it. He makes the right passes. He takes the right shots. His movement is great. So I just feel like he's learning the game already. So by the time he gets to the pro status, I think he's going to kind of, I wouldn't say the same as LeBron, but I think he's going to make an impact early on. But I think that was great that LeBron did what he did because he's definitely telling these organizations like, hey, you know, when you draft my son, you're going to get me. So whether the organizations think Bronny is good enough or not, they're still going to take him because you're going to get LeBron. So, I mean, that was just the OG move to me, man. That was smooth.
Yeah.
So which team who needs maybe a piece away or is a LeBron away, like towards the end of his career, a LeBron away from winning the championship. So if you draft his son, you're making your team better, and then maybe LeBron can end his career with a ring that him and his son can share. Which team would benefit most from that?
Go back to Cleveland.
Yeah, really, really though.
They're all young, bro. They're all young.
Yeah, I mean, now I think about it, yeah, for sure, Cleveland, which would be insane if that would have happened. But
it really would. Oh my goodness, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, Cleveland. I was thinking Denver too.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I liked him if he would go to Denver, but yeah, Cleveland would be the best spot for him.
Denver is a good spot.
Man, that would be a basketball fan or a sports writer's fan dream if LeBron went back to Cleveland and won a title with his son there.
Oh,
so many storylines, so many different things. And
he'll be the GOAT then.
Hey, listen.
Walking out on top. Yeah.
I've been saying this for a while. I was like, listen, if LeBron stays around and plays with his son, I'll start calling him the GOAT. I'll be like, all right, whatever, he GOAT. Because that's GOAT status right there. Like, yo, that's a different level.
Those moments stand forever. You know, Griffey and his father hitting back-to-back home runs, you know, and all those kind of stuff. Like those moments live forever and you know, in greatness. Like that stuff is still on highlights. You know, like every summer on Father's Day when baseball is being played, that highlight gets played over and over and over again on every telecast. And it's just crazy how that kind of stuff works. And you're looking at this like MLB draft. There's 3 guys in the top 25 whose fathers were all-stars, you know, so like you're seeing, you know, that kind of like reinvent itself already, but their fathers are no longer in the league, and to like stay in the league and stay relevant that long to where you could have both you guys play at the same time is pretty epic.
For sure.
So let's move it. What?
Bold prediction, man.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Cam might kill me for this one.
I want to hear it.
I think Bronny James is going to fall out of love with basketball.
Oh!
Why do you say that?
Not in the sense of loving the game, but like playing at the pro level. I just, oh man, he plays basketball really good. He's got the body. He's got everything. Like Cam said, you can tell that LeBron's molding him for the long term. He doesn't care about him being the best player right now because he really does play flawless basketball. Man, how could you like?
It makes sense.
The pressure is ridiculous, Randon. The pressure, like that's even more pressure than Jordan's sons had. You know what I mean? Like, because people see that he's actually big enough, and we've been watching him play on the circuit, and they've been ranking the kid since he was 11 or 12 years old.
Right.
I just think it's going to get to a point to where Bronny asks himself, what the people want from me, I don't know if I'll be able to give it to them. Yeah. And it's just that's just a bold prediction, though.
No, it makes sense, though.
I love
it. Does make sense.
But yeah,
it happens a lot. You look at, and I wonder because basketball is so similar, right? As far as it's starting to become almost positionless in its nature. You know, I mean, obviously you have different size and everything like that. But, you know, like to translate it to football, like Deion Sanders is probably the best corner to ever play the game. His son plays quarterback. So his son doesn't play the same position he does. So there's going to be no comparisons for him when he's in college. If he makes the pros and all that kind of stuff like that, there's going to be no comparison between him and his father because they don't play the same position.
Right.
Where in basketball, like it's starting to become positionless, and like there's always going to be comparisons there for Bronny.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
That's for sure.
So let's switch it over here. The trade deadline. I know it was a couple weeks ago, but this is our first show on Cerberus Sports Talk, so we got to talk about it. Some big trades being made. Let's start with the big one. Obviously, Cam mentioned a little bit with the Nets. So Harden and Millsap go to the 76ers. The Nets get Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and 2 first-round picks, a 2022 and a 2027. I didn't know you could send picks that far in the future, but they did. So we talked about this on our last podcast months ago that Seth Curry is probably one of the most underrated players in the NBA. He shoots in the mid game. He can shoot threes. he's just not as flawless and flashy as his all-star brother, but he's a definitely good shooter, which is what the Nets could use. Who do you think maybe won that trade, and how does the trade benefit both teams?
I think it's a no-brainer. I think Brooklyn won that trade, man. They got deeper. Like their depth is better. I think with Ben Simmons, their size is crazy now. They don't need Ben Simmons to do what Harden did with scoring and stuff like that. Ben Simmons, all he needs to do is penetrate and defend. You can leave the rest up to Kyrie and KD, and now you got spread the floor with your shooters, Patty Mills, Seth Curry. So, I mean, I don't know. I think that team is perfect. Then they picked up Drummond. Although he was playing under Joel Embiid, he's still the best rebounder in the NBA. Plays defense, plays hard. So now you got these hard-nosed guys with Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond that don't need the ball. Man, I think it's a perfect situation for Brooklyn. Philadelphia, I think they did pretty well too with having James Harden, just because it's Harden and Joel Embiid. I mean, that helps spread the floor. So with Embiid being the best big man, Harden can just do what he got to do. But I think that's it. After their starting lineup, I don't think they have nothing else, honestly.
Yep, I agree, bro. I think from a locker room perspective, Philly, that was a good trade for them. New energy. I think they hurt themselves, man. They already aren't deep. They gave up their shooter. Giving up draft picks when your star player hasn't played a full season in his career, that is another, tough. That's another tough call. So, yeah, I think Brooklyn won that trade by far. I want to go on record saying that I've never seen a basketball team as deep as Brooklyn is right now. It's crazy.
Yeah. Even over those Warriors teams?
Hold on, I was about to say that's kind of close to the Warriors team. That
I got them over the Warriors teams too. Yo, Patty Mills, Seth Curry.
Yeah.
Those two alone.
Snipers right there.
Whoa, Joe Harris, another sniper.
Oh my goodness, I forgot about Joe Harris.
I looked at their roster. They have 5 complete rotations. 3 complete rotations of 5 players.
Oh my god.
They have 3 complete rotations. Like they could play the third string and stay in the game with other people. That's my opinion.
I forgot about Joe Harris.
I don't think they're as dangerous as the Warriors because of the way they played basketball, but I think they have the players in place to match up, though.
That means coming with us then would you guys declare the Nets the favorite after this trade to take home the ship?
For sure.
Ooh.
Yeah, for sure. Like what? Yes. The championship, who they gotta I feel like their competition is the Bucks. But I think we did well. We got Ben Simmons, Drummond. We got people to claw that paint off out of the Kumpo, man. Like,
yeah.
How do you think they would fare against the Suns or the Warriors in the championship if it goes that way?
That's the question.
With the Suns, that's just gonna be a chess match. That's gonna come down I think that's just gonna come down to talent, man. That's gonna come down to talent.
Yeah. Ben Simmons' play will be a big factor in that series. Because I don't know if Kyrie, they're supposed to be lifting the mandate, right? Yeah. From what I heard. Mm-hmm. If Kyrie's there, I think they can beat them for sure. I think they can beat the Suns for sure. I am very hesitant about saying the Warriors are going to lose for this reason. Steph caught his groove. Clay just caught his groove before All-Star break.
Right.
Wiggins is playing the best basketball of his career. We hadn't even seen Draymond Green back yet with that unit. Mm. Yo, man, I got Warriors Nets, and it's going to 7 games. I don't know who's going. That's my prediction, bro.
For sure, man. This mandate got to be lifted, man. That's really what it is, man. If Kyrie can play all these games, I feel like that's the impact player right there, man. Like, and Ben Simmons, I hope his mentor is right, man. And I don't know, man.
I'm going Brooklyn, man. They got too many, man. Yo, Patty.
We'll see how it goes. It works out. I mean, I know New York has been pretty staunch on this whole thing. I've heard March is the lift date or whatever, but you saw it in the Super Bowl. All of a sudden, there was no talk about COVID or testing, or not one player tested positive because there's millions of dollars at stake.
That's what it's about. Listen,
Do you think?
Man.
I mean, if I were the NBA and now after this trade, wouldn't you be dusting some politicians' pockets?
That's exactly what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. They want to see this. They want to see a full Brooklyn team. This is good. I don't know. This is good business. Like, let the man, they let Kyrie play. This is good. That's good. Brooklyn went on a losing streak. Now you can see them compete to come back. This is good TV, man. I think they're going to lift it for sure.
All right, let's go over a couple of these trades here. Mavericks send Porzingis to the Wizards. So Porzingis and a second-round pick for Dinwiddie and Bertans. Do you think that the experiment just wasn't working in Dallas as far as how they rolled together with Luka, or do you think there's something else at play here?
I think I feel like they should have kept Porzingis, but I don't know. I don't know if he didn't want to be the second man or the second option. I don't know. I don't know if Luka, if they couldn't figure that out. I just don't know. I really think they should have kept Porzingis, though, man, for sure.
I agree. I've been a Porzingis fan ever since. I've been a big Porzingis fan since he touched the NBA. I honestly probably would have been a lot better than he is at this point. But when I look at him and his body language and his energy in the Mavericks uniform, he didn't look like he was all the way there, bro. Like, at all, you know. And again, on the subject of us talking about LeBron being, you know, a tougher guy to play with, not because of how good he is, but just because you try to figure out where you fit in. It's the same for Luka. Luka is a point. Anytime you have a point forward, that's the dominant guy. I think it's really hard to figure that out. And I just when I watched them play, I saw them try to turn Porzingis into a post-only guy and a corner shooter. He's a top of the key shooter and a slasher. So, but Luka Doncic ran high ball screens from the top of the key area all the time. I just don't think it was a good fit for him comfortability-wise, and he could never get himself into it. But he just looks different, man. He looks disengaged overall. I don't know if he's just disinterested in basketball at this point because of the injuries, but I guess we'll see how it ends up.
Right.
Do you think those two players, Dinwiddie and Bertans, do you think that they'll play more complementary basketball to Luka and maybe help Dallas, win a series or two?
I think that's going to be kind of weird to watch Luka and Spence play together. I mean, just like he said, Luka is just a ball-dominant type of player, so he got to be surrounded by role players. With Spencer Dinwiddie, I mean, I feel like, he's kind of the same. He's a point guard. He runs a lot of screen and roll, so I don't know. I don't know how they're going to figure that out. Bertans, I think he's been struggling lately, has he? So I'm not sure what Bertans been doing. If I'm right, I think he's been struggling lately, but I don't know. We have to see.
I think my bad.
Go ahead. No, finish your thought because we're going to go to the next one.
I think Bertans' strength will help him out, but just from a scoring standpoint, that'll be tough, like Cam saying.
So let's run through these, and if any of these that you guys want to talk about, we can talk about a little bit more at length. Derek White to the Celtics. Spurs get Josh Richardson, Romeo Langford, a 2022nd first round, a swap picks in the 28th. Celtics get Theus. The Rockets get Schroeder, Freedom, and Fernando. Bucks get Serge Ibaka, multiple picks. Clippers get Rodney Hood and all the way Laley. Is that how you pronounce it? And then Kings get DiVincenzo, Jackson, Lyles, and a second-round pick. And Pistons get Bagley the third. That's a lot of moving pieces right there.
That is.
I think the most puzzling one, being from Sacramento, and a lot of people were throwing it up, was the when the Kings sent away Halliburton.
I don't understand it. I don't know. I don't know why, bro. I do not know why they let him go. I really don't.
Yeah, that was a very, very shocking decision.
Yes, bro. That's a person that should not have been let go. I don't get it.
You don't let go of a guy that's selfless and plays every phase of the game. Defense, hustle, offense, IQ, good passer. He can knock the shot down.
Right.
That's baffling to me. That's baffling to me. I want to talk to these front office guys just to pick their brain, man.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at like they didn't even get a first round pick for him. Like, I mean, if you're going to rebuild, like you're not in the playoffs, you didn't get a first round pick for him. You know, but why would you be rebuilding? We talked about in the beginning of the year that they're young. Like,
they're young, yes.
Like, so you're not like it's not like you're getting rid of older players, you know, but they've got that brand new arena and they haven't been able to do anything with it so far. So, is there any other big trade that you guys can think of that you would like to talk about that might change the impact of the second half of the season, which goes to who benefits most from the trade deadline? Other than the Nets trade. Yeah, other
than Brooklyn, I believe Milwaukee does. I think that was big for them to pick up Ibaka. I think that was pretty huge, man. That's because Bobby Portis already plays hard-nosed defense and knocks down the three. Serge Ibaka's gonna come in and do the same exact thing. So it's like you kind of don't lose any type of production there. So I mean, Milwaukee, man, they just got a team full of just hard-nosed players. Everybody just 3-and-D. That team. The way they built that around Greek Freak, man, was perfect. I mean, it's just perfect for me. I mean, them some perfect role players for sure.
Yeah, that was a good win for Milwaukee. That was a good win for Milwaukee, especially and then having another strong guy with them losing. You know, PJ Tucker, a guy that can guard. You know, Kevin Durant here and there. I think that's a good pickup. I mean, he's gonna get fried either way, but he'll try.
I mean, yeah, I guess it's just about wearing them down. I guess that's the most you can do.
That's true.
Wear them down, but yeah.
What about I'm in agrees with you, Bucks. They said they won the trade deadline as well. So crystal ball, I mean, we already talked about a little bit Nets and Warriors. You think there? If you look at the team standings, I don't know if you guys have that page up. Which team outside the Nets? Because I know you're going to say the Nets in the bottom four in each conference makes a push into the top six. Which team do you think can make that push in the second half of the season? Pull up the standings a little bit. Take a look at it.
Let me see.
I think in the East, I think Brooklyn's going to move up, but I also like the Hawks moving up. I think the Hawks are 10th spot in the East right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
And then in the West, who you have down there? The Clippers, the Lakers, the Blazers.
And the T-Wolves.
The T-Wolves. The T-Wolves are outside of that spot right now, too?
Yeah, they're in 7.
Yeah.
That's who I have moving up.
Yeah. You said you just like the way that they have 3 creators, right? Is what you were saying earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think they're farewell. And then Karl Anthony Towns, he's got that like justifiable confidence in that jumper, especially after the 3-point contest.
I told y'all.
For people on the outside, the All-Star game doesn't look like, anything that could really contribute to these guys this season. But, man, this is the time of period when they get a break. They're in front of all of the fans and all of the other best players in the world. And if you can excel on that stage, that definitely translates back to the games.
For sure. That makes sense. I think my team would be Charlotte. I feel like they can move up.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, Brooklyn's going to move up. We know that. But I think Charlotte is going to move up. And then I don't know, man. I think the Lakers might move up. I think LeBron is just getting ready to just go super crazy. I think he just wants to at least get into the playoffs. I think that's his motivation. Yeah.
Do you think removing Rajon Rondo, like another high he demands a lot of attention like in his entire career. Do you think getting rid of him, like him trading away, like lessening the amount of characters that are in the locker room, like do you think that'll help the team with chemistry?
Well, I think Rondo has already been moved.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I said. That trade at the trade deadline, them moving it away. Do you think that's going to benefit the team? Almost like an addition by subtraction. And how does he do on the Cavs team that you say is really hot?
Well, I think it's going to be great for the Cavs. I felt like Rondo was already traded earlier than the trade deadline, though. I don't know. Maybe
it was January 3rd, but that was all the trades. Yeah, he was traded.
Oh, that's true.
All right. Yeah, I think that's another reason why Cleveland is on the momentum they're on and winning because they have Rondo. You need that veteran presence in the locker room. But for them to, I don't think that helped the Lakers or him getting traded. I just think, man, I feel like everybody listens to LeBron. If you want me to be honest, you just do what LeBron say, and right now it's just not working. It's just not working right now. Like I'm not sure.
Well, we'll see how it works out. Excellent first episode, boys. We're going to be doing this more often, getting it going. Now at the crunch time coming down the end of the season, everybody wants some basketball news. For all you watching, you see the Twitter handles down at the bottom. Give these guys a follow on Twitter. They have plenty of basketball knowledge. Eric's got his music and his art. Dude, those pieces were dope, by the way, that you had. Tell everybody about your art there, Eric, and about that gallery opening that you had.
Oh, yes. First off, been into art since I was a kid. I always loved to draw, sketch, do things, but just recently became it elevated from passion to a career. But I've sold a lot of pieces. I started out with a lot of basketball-oriented pieces, of course. You know, I love hooping. But, you know, I've been transitioning and spreading myself out. If you guys want to check out anything, the website's under construction right now, but it will be up tomorrow. It's blessedbychosen.com. You can go there. You can inquire. You can find my music. You can find art. Everything there is in the central hub. I just had a gallery recently at Nordstrom, and it was my first time actually being in public and letting people come in, view my art, and have conversation with me. And I could definitely say that was like the best feeling I've ever had with me giving the world my art and my expression. Like people reciprocated right in front of me. Seeing everyone take pictures in front of my art was super dope, man. So it's definitely something I'm gonna continue to do. Everybody look out for me. Put some money in, you know, buy some pieces for me, man.
So his handles there at the bottom of the screen. Eric the Chosen. Follow him on Twitter. He'll let you know when the website's active. You guys can go purchase some pieces there. Cam, what's new with you, man? Anything you want to plug yourself about before we get out?
Hey, man, you know how I am. I just keep it on low to, you know what I mean, surfaces.
You just keep the dial on low until you need to heat it up, huh?
That's how it goes. That's how I am.
No worries, guys. Well, thank you guys for coming on. Again, this is Cerberus Sports Talk around the NBA edition. We're going to be doing this more often. Give me a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell for every time that we're on. We're begin talking Niners. We're talking fantasy football. We're talking baseball. And, of course, we're going to have our NBA episodes with Cam and Eric here for the rest of the season and into the offseason. And, as always, thank you, guys. Appreciate you.